Okay, so today it's our usual weekly slot of Let's Talk Tuesdays. And a couple of weeks ago, I talked about consistency and the power of it. But what stayed on my mind was a couple of people were saying, I'm really struggling with consistency. And then I experienced some struggles with consistency. And I was like, okay, what can I do to help with consistency? And so I've got to do a live on it. And then you guys can tell me what you're struggling with, and maybe we can help uncover what the motivation is that you need to get consistent. What else to tell you? So hopefully, if you're watching this on replay, please use hashtag replay. You have put the date of the 4th of November into your diaries, 4 p.m. GMT. I'm participating in an event called Zoom into the Future. It's a online Zoom call. There'll be various people on this call offering messages. Some will be psychics, some will be people like myself who connect to your higher self. I think I'm the only one who does that, but there will be psychics and other people who do other sorts of readings. And you get to ask questions in the Zoom room. There is more information coming. I'm just waiting for the details from the organisers, but I hope you've put that into your diary. Now I can see someone's joined me, so say hello, because I can't see who you are at the moment. Oh, hi, Monica. Okay, I'll do a card for you. Poor you. Yes, have a sleep, right? Go look after yourself. Bed, hot water bottle, whatever you need to shift your headache. It feels like your body's quite tired. You've been working incredibly hard. So I think maybe you just need a bit more rest, okay? And I'll pull a card for you later, my lovely. So yes, Zoom into the Future on 4th of November, which is a Sunday at 4 p.m. GMT. So that's the first thing I just needed to remind you of. The second thing is, have you bought my book? And I know you're probably going to get really tired of me talking about my book, but I truly believe it is a one-of-a-kind book. It's really simple and easy to read. If you read the reviews on Amazon, you'll see that someone said it's really easily well laid out, easy to follow. And it's essentially a how-to guide on connecting with your higher self and how to use those energetics daily to have a really good life, right? It's really hard sometimes, when you're going through something difficult. There you go, Monica. Yeah. More rest and water. So just sleep, rest, stay in bed. That's my advice to you, Monica, and you'll be better in no time. So just back to my book, say hello if you're just joining me, because I can't see who's here. So just back to my book. It's essentially a how-to guide on how to connect to your higher self and how to use the flow of energy. And you know what? When things are not going well for us, it's really easy to cast around thinking, I need a course or I need this. But what if you could connect the energy, connect to your higher self, and really get a proper aligned answer that feels good and helps you then take action that actually creates a proper change for you. That's what this book will help you do. Okay, so it's available on Amazon, so have a look. It's available in Kindle Unlimited, Kindle format, paperback and hardback, this being the paperback version. It's not a very thick book either, so it won't take you long to read. In part 2 of the book, we talk about manifesting, and we talk about how you can apply what you've learned in part 1 to health, wealth, and your family. And family consists of more than just your biological family. It's your friends, it's your spiritual companions, your animals. It can be colleagues. It's all the people you've come here to co-create with. That's who we class as family. So say hello if you're just joining me, because obviously I don't know who you are till you do. I hope you've all had a good week. Sorry, I was thinking of the weather. Good week. And let's crack on. Okay, so we're going to just talk about the problem with consistency. So when we're struggling to stay consistent, and I think it was Jennifer who said that she was struggling with consistency, and almost immediately after that call, I struggled with some consistency. And so I thought, no, I need to actually look at this and see if I can give you a better answer than I did 2 weeks ago. So let's think about consistency first of all. When we're consistent in our habits, they can either hinder you or they can help you, right? It seems obvious to say that. But think about supposing you eat too much sweets or crisps or even too much cheese. A lot of people love eating cheese, for example. And it's delicious and you love it and you enjoy that, right? But it could be hindering you because it could be affecting your health, or it could be making you gain weight, or it could be costing you money that you don't really have to spend. So a habit can be hindering you or it can help you. A habit that can help you would be, for example, if, say, when you're eating, you're not eating enough balance, then a new habit of consistency where you're eating in a more balanced way is going to help you overall, help your health, etc. So you need to think about, first of all, are my existing habits, my existing consistent habits, helping me or are they hindering me? If you are someone who overworks themselves consistently, how is that helping you in the long term? It might help in the immediate future, but in the short and long term future, it may not help you, right? If you're someone who consistently says, I'm going to go for a walk, but never does, how is that helping you or is it hindering you? So you need to first of all identify which habits you want to change. And I know this is really simple stuff, and I'm sure you're thinking, well, that's really obvious. But I wanted to start there because sometimes consistency, when you combine it with comfort and what we're used to, you sometimes don't even know when you're consistently making a bad choice. So that's why I want you first of all to think about the consistent habits you have. Are they good? Are they bad? If you consistently go to bed too late and you're tired the next morning, how is that benefiting you? What's the win in this for you? Why would you not change it? Okay, so these are some of the examples I wanted to give you. So what if you say you've identified a habit and you understand that you want to change it and you want a new consistent habit? Well, what's your reason for that? So a good example would be if you have a business and you have products to sell, but you consistently don't like selling, okay? It's very difficult to sell a product unless you actually tell your public what you have to sell to them. So what's your motivation for selling? Well, for most people, it's income, right? They want to earn some income and have some money in the bank so they can experience life and all its experiences and perhaps feel freer in their decision making. So that's your why. Another one would be if we're talking about health. Well, if you want to say you want to get fitter, well, why do you want to get fitter? And I know it seems an odd question, but why do you really? Is it because you have an event coming up? Is it because you're tired of feeling slow and sluggish? Is it because you're tired of not looking good in your clothes or not finding clothes you want to wear when you go to the shops? Is it because someone said something to you? What is your motivation for that change? That's the thing you need to identify. I have notes here, which is why you see me looking down, because there was a lot coming through for me. Okay. So when you're thinking about consistency and creating a new habit of consistency, what I want you to do is to start thinking about what is my motivation for change and how will I benefit from that change. So we understand motivation and then we understand the gain, right, that we're going to get. So let's go back to the first example of I want to start selling, but I don't ever sell. What is the gain? Well, the obvious thing is income. Another gain might be you get used to the sound of your own voice and actually valuing what you have to offer and feeling like what I have to offer is great. So if I take my book, for example, selling isn't something that I love to do. I love creation more than I love selling. But what happens is every time I sell and I promote, a part of my brain is like, oh, well, the world didn't implode when I sold. So let's try that again, right? And so you understand that that new habit you're trying to create is actually quite safe. And it's funny how your brain will connect something as like selling into a dangerous thing. And part of that is because of any beliefs you might have. You know, I don't want to put myself too forward. I don't want people to think I'm vulgar because I'm selling and that's associated to money. I don't think I'm worthy of having a successful business. That might be a belief you have. Okay. So you need to understand your motivation for why you want to change and develop a new consistent habit, but you want to understand what your gain is from your new consistent habit. And I would say if you're someone who struggles with maintaining new habits and developing new consistent habits, you should put those up where you can see them. You can use them on your phone or your laptop as a screensaver so that whenever you go onto them, you're like reminded of my why and my gain. It's right there in front of you. You might want to put it up as post-it notes if you're old school. Great, do it. What you want is the visual reminder of why you're trying to create a new habit and the gain from creating a new habit. You might want to consistently save money as a new habit, right? So it could be you want to, and I tried this for a long time in a digital pot, and I have spoken about this before. I used to try saving in a digital pot and I found it really hard, and I found that I kept having to dip into it to top up my bank account. And so in the summer, what I did was I bought myself off Amazon a book, and it's called the 100 Envelope Challenge, and it's numbered 1 to 100. And when I filled each one of those envelopes with cash, I will have saved just over £5,000. I think it's 5,050. And that got me quite excited because then I was like, oh, so my why is I want to save consistently so that I can do some stuff either around my house, or I'm put it towards a car because I might need a car next year, or I can put some of it towards a holiday, right? And I could spread it between the three of those things. So that was my motive, that was my gain. And then my motivation was I wanted to develop another sorry, I just got a really weird message on my phone. So my gain, so I wanted to develop a new habit of saving. So I was saving money, and my gain was I would have that money to use it on other things. So can you see, if you understand what your motivation is for developing the consistent habit and then what your gain is, it's likely to keep you more motivated. All right. So what else will you gain from having a new habit and being consistent in that new habit, right? Because essentially what you're asking for is change, energetically and physically. I want change. Okay. So you'll feel better. You might feel stronger and healthier if it's a weight or a health-based goal that you have that you're trying to develop a consistent habit of. And here's one I noticed. So one of the things I've been doing is I have been more consistent with my vitamins. I'm quite low on vitamin D. So I've been more consistent with those. And then I've also been more consistent in my activity. And then the other day I thought, well, I'm going to be walking a lot, so I don't need to do my home-based activity. But actually what I realized was I need to be consistent in both. So, but that's something that comes once you start working the consistency, okay? You'll have more confidence if you're developing a new skill. When I started doing these lives, I did not have as much confidence or ease about doing these lives as I did when I started. So in the doing of it, I've developed a new skill and a confidence, okay? You might develop more self-belief. Oh, I can actually develop consistent, healthy habits of saving money, eating well, moving regularly, all the things that you might think of, you might be able to consistently do, and you build that self-belief in yourself. You might also end up having more money or getting a promotion at work if you're consistently showing up as that employee. So once you understand motivation and gain, and then you also understand the other side benefits of being consistent, you can then start to really reap the benefits. And here's the way I would do it. When you are starting a new habit, what I want you to think about is, can I stack the new habit, right? So stacking the habit, for example, would be something like, so let's take health, for example, okay? You're really tired, you're not getting enough sleep, your body's aching. I'm picking a bit on Monica here because she's just said she's not well. Your body's aching, you're really tired, and you're really struggling, okay? And so you want to go, okay, what is the simple step I can take? Okay, simple step is go to bed and get some sleep and have some water next to me. Now, a health stack on that might be to put electrolytes in that water to help bring your body into balance. And so daily you start taking the electrolytes. Then the next level or stack you would want to put on that is, I'm going to schedule in regular breaks on my phone so that every hour or so I take 15 minutes off to go and do something else. That could be eat some food, go and talk to someone. It could be to tidy away a little corner in my house. It could be make a cup of tea and have a dance around your kitchen. It doesn't really matter what the health stack is, but what you're going to do, the health actual thing you're doing is creating this time where you're allowing yourself to rest. Then the next level might be, okay, so I'm drinking the water with electrolytes. I'm scheduling breaks for myself so I can stretch and move my body and have a cup of tea, etc. What's the third thing I can do? Okay, the third thing might be I can actually choose to eat differently so that I'm fueling my body better. So you might want to eat more protein, or you might want to do batch cooking on a Sunday so that you have healthy lunches and dinners ready for yourself for Sunday, from Monday through to Friday. Do you see what I mean? These are health stacking habits, but you're going to gradually build them in. It's not about building them in right from day one. It's get used to the first level, and then when you're comfortable, build in the second one, and then build in the third one. And so what happens is you're consistently doing number one, and then you consistently add in number two, and then you add in number three. And you are really building in your own confidence and belief in yourself. And so what you find is that your reason for change, your reason for not developing the consistent habit, that has disappeared. Okay. And lastly, I just want to say to you that the enemy of motivation, the enemy of consistent change, I identified 3, but if you know more, then just let me know. You've got comfort, right? It's comfortable where you are. In order for change to happen, for you to develop this new motivation, you need to find that it's where you are is so uncomfortable that you really need to change. And even then, know that you might falter. That's okay. It does not matter, right? What matters is that you keep trying. Another reason for failing to be consistent in new habits is a failure to plan. So if you, for example, need to save more money, you need to really I would suggest, do an audit of your accounts and go, okay, and then keeping a regular note of your expenses to go, okay, where can I find a bit of money to save this, and how am I going to save it? If it's around health, then what are you doing around health to help yourself? You know, are you going to do the batch cooking? Are you going to get the electrolytes? What is it you need to plan? And write down your plan as well. Don't just keep it in your head. Share that plan with someone. Write it down. that's your plan. And then you review the plan. That's the third thing, is review your plan to check that it's working and check that you're still comfortable with the changes you're making. And then finally, I would say, if you don't buy into your own motivation and it is not loving for you to make that change, but you think you should do it because maybe someone said something, or you feel like that's the latest social media trend, if it is not loving for you and you don't really buy into the reason why and the gain you're going to get from changing, no amount of motivation is going to work for you. No amount of motivation is going to help you develop a new consistent habit. And this is what's really important with motivation. I started off by saying you need to know what your motivation is, your why and your gain. If you do not know those, very little will change for you. You'll manage for a while, but then something will come along and you easily go back to that other habit. And the other thing about habits is you'll see different people say different things, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days to change a habit. Personally, I found going vegetarian, which was a really new habit for me, took me 6 months. And I would say to feel comfortable with it. And I would say about a year to kind of go, yeah, actually, I think I am a vegetarian now. It took a long time. So don't get tied into other people's time frames. Your job is to stay focused on your habit that you want to create for yourself, and to stay focused on what you need to do in order to be consistent, and keep buying into your motivation, because as soon as you do, it will give you the impetus to move forward. Helps. I'm going to say goodbye to you all, because I kind of said everything I have, and I've read cards for everyone. So if you have just joined, I suggest you go back and look at this, because I am talking about how you can develop that consistency, and then we can take it from there. Have a lovely week all, and I will talk to you soon. Take care now.